much going on here. There's much going on. Fill this in later.
What happened?
I didn't turn the camera on.
You can take time and type it in. Not in any hurry.
Oh, here we go. I'll type it in. Your folks get notification. Why don't you scoot over? Get the picture. There you go. Oh, well, it took a little bit, but 55 seconds, but here we are. Welcome. Welcome to, is this the first one this year?
Yes.
Welcome to 2019. Where you been?
We took a break last week.
Here we are. So we're back to almost our first year anniversary. Close. Because you keep telling me it was on MLK Day.
Yes.
And that's how I remember it, because I thought it was in February. So much I know. We're at our 1 year anniversary. So welcome to Real Talk with Deb and Will. It is an honor to be here before you today, and excited about how many people have watched and how many people have commented over the past year. We're really encouraged by it, and encouraged to continue to do more and to spread out and try to help as many people as we can through what can be treacherous waters of relationship, whether it's marital relationships or boyfriend, girlfriend, business, relationships in general. So here we are, it's Monday. It's Monday again.
Good morning. Happy Monday. Be grateful. You made it to another Monday.
Yeah, that's the truth. That is the truth.
I know everybody hates Mondays. Got to get up and go to work. But you have a job. And you have a job that pays. Think about all those air traffic controllers and all those people who are working and not getting paid. Well, they're kind of getting paid. It's just on delay.
They're going to get paid. They're going to get paid. It ain't like they're going to lose any money. They're going to get paid. They just missed a check, which is interesting, and that should be another topic. Because air traffic controllers make a lot of money.
Yes.
And
You
they're some of
should
the
be
last
saving
people
money.
who should be, especially if you work for the federal government, you should be some of the last people who are living paycheck to paycheck. They make a lot of money. Air traffic controllers make six figures easily and deserve it. So
They work hard. They deserve it.
they're some of the last people who say if they miss one check, their life should fall apart. That's a whole nother subject, though, isn't it? It is.
That's where we get into the budgeting thing and
We get into the common sense thing.
finance.
Common sense stuff. No, you make $240,000 a year as an air traffic controller.
And one paycheck gonna
And
knock you down.
one paycheck just destroys you. You just can't live. Suddenly you're living in your car. No, it should be that way. I don't believe it is that way, and if it is, it shouldn't be that way. So that's another
Let's get
subject.
back to our show.
That's another subject.
That's your show.
That is my show. That is. That's my channel for sure.
But we're back. We're doing relationships. But again, be grateful. Be grateful that you get able to get up. Stop complaining about Monday mornings. Monday mornings are a blessing.
Glad to have a Monday morning. I'm truly grateful for every Monday morning. Tuesdays too. Kind of fond of Wednesdays and Thursdays. Fridays are okay. Saturdays and Sundays are cool. So I'm grateful for every day, and I think that's something that you should start doing in 2019 is being grateful for every day, every time you get to be alive, every moment you get to be alive, and that you are in good health. Be grateful. Be grateful. Build yourself into a culture, into a habit of gratefulness about the small things. The smallest thing that you think about actually is the greatest thing is that you're alive. That you are getting an opportunity to do good things, as opposed to a lot of people who had plans for this morning, and they are not going to get to execute those plans. They're not. You have a chance to be successful today, so be grateful. Be grateful. So what are we talking about this morning?
We're talking about why get married? Why should you get married? Um, we are a relationship channel, so we should talk about the woos and woes of marriage and relationships, as he said. But I just had a YouTube person that we love so much. We watch them religiously, weekly. They have a beautiful little daughter. And over the last couple of weeks, the last month, they hadn't been on. And, we wonder what was going on and everything. And you think people have such great lives by just viewing, a lot of times people put the best foot out there on YouTube. But it made me think about marriage, and why, that movie about why did I get married? Are we married for the right reasons? So, first of all, most people get married because of
Sex. Sex. They
I was
think
thinking
th-
love.
They think that too. I don't think I'm married because they want to have sex a lot,
Yes.
all the time. But then that's kind of how life is hysterical, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, love. That's it. Love and love.
Yes. Most people
Fall
get
in
married because
love.
they fall in love,
You
and
don't fall in love.
they
You
wanna
fall in the
be-
hole
they want to be with that person
forever.
forever.
Even when they turn
They're
old
soulmates.
and gray, everywhere. Trust me. Me. Trust me. Anyway, so love is the reason people have I'm going to say that people do have first of all a physical attract. I mean, physical attractiveness gathers people together, which makes you notice, and then the relationship builds, and then it can turn into love, what we call love. It's we got to be honest with you. It does start off with a little bit of lust.
Yeah.
I mean, it just does. So
Most people you need to have that desire
you have
to want to be
some physical contact.
sexually
What?
involved with that
Well, yeah,
person.
you got to have some of that. But then if things are good, then then that turns into a love, and then you have to decide. We talked about this a year ago. You have to decide that you are going to make that move to love, and I'm not gonna get into that now because that sort of hinges on our second point. Where'd you get that cup?
Like my little cup. My sweetie bought this cup for me.
Oh, so he didn't buy me a cup too? Dang.
No, he didn't buy you one.
This is what I got. I got this from I don't know where I got this. Kmart about 15 years ago.
20.
Maybe.
Probably.
What's
Back to the topic.
what's the top? Ain't no
You
top.
lost that.
Dowdell probably. Anyway, so love is usually the primary reason why people think they get married. So what else you got?
And religious beliefs. I was doing a little research and reading up on where marriage came from, and a lot of the issues with marriage came from because back in the olden days, women didn't have much of a say so in anything. And the only way you could have a part or be a part of the community or what was going on in the community was to have a man speak up for you. Isn't that wild? So a lot of times they got married because of that. But religious beliefs is another issue that most people get marriage out of the Bible. It's biblically. You get married and you have the vows and all of that. And a lot of people don't believe in having sex before you're married. So
So we're back to sex again, aren't we? I tell y'all, we're back to sex again. Yeah, I mean,
a
so
lot of the religious beliefs is that you don't you don't what is it,
Consummate.
the marriage, the relationship until you are
If you're
married.
married, that's when you consummate the relationship. Yeah, that makes a good point that we're talking about in ancient time. Well, yeah, probably well, not even ancient time. We're talking about into probably in Europe, especially into the 15 and 1600s, where women didn't own property, women didn't have this have legal rights, and so the only way for women to have any standing was to be married. So that was part of even in the church, even in
Yeah,
any
in the
part of the
church.
church. Now, when we say church, we don't mean your church. Please stop with your church, your church, down on 15th. The second greatest Pentecostal tabernacle of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm not talking about your church. I'm talking about the general church and basically the Catholic Church. Especially in Europe, women didn't have standing, and one way to get any standing was, of course, to be married. And frankly, people didn't live as long. And with that, people didn't live as long. So in order for there to be people had to get married early, and they had to get married a lot, which is part of why you have polygamy. Frankly, is that you have to continue with the species. Polygamy. I should have a little definition of polygamy. Married to more than one person at a time. Married to more than one woman at a time. Polygamy
Sister
equals
wives.
insanity.
Sister wives.
Insanity. Craziness.
That's a wild show.
Haven't seen it in a long time, and I'm glad. Makes me very uncomfortable. In any case, so there were obviously religious reasons that people get married, and a lot of it is a lot of the religious reasons, especially early biblical reasons, is to maintain. In the Jewish church, it was to maintain the bloodlines. So a lot of times, well, in the case of Christ, Mary was betrothed, and that means that somebody had arranged that marriage, the family had arranged that marriage to keep that bloodline pure. So there were all sorts of religious ins and outs of marriages. We had this big discussion a couple of years ago about same-sex marriage, and the biggest discussion was actually the legal aspect, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But the fact of the matter, a lot of marriages were not given the stamp of approval by the state, by government. All the records were held in the church. I think Grover Cleveland might have been the first president that had a marriage license.
Wow.
You didn't have to pay them
That
fool.
was something that was just done in the church.
It was
They
just
didn't
done
have
in
a
the church.
courthouse. You didn't go to the courthouse and do all the
No,
legal
and
stuff
you didn't have to
like
take a
that.
blood test. You didn't have to do any of that kind of stuff.
So they had a
It
lot
was-
of inbreeding.
It was, well, sometimes they did. In France especially, because they want to keep, in the royalties, because they want to keep the bloodline pure.
Because
So
the queen and her husband are.
third cousins. Prince Philip,
You didn't know?
third cousins, and he farts, which is hysterical. I love that dude. But in any case, so it is a lot of times it is the religion is the dominant religion that set up those marriages, and they were able to promulgate their faith as well by making sure they had marriages and making sure they had children. So religious reasons is a lot. What's next?
It's a big deal. Legal reasons.
That came later. That came later. Like I just said, forever it was marriage was really pretty much a private affair done in the church. There were no license. There was no licensor. There was none of that. There's this thing called common law marriage that people would just hang out together for 7 years, and
They become married.
and people consider them married, and they could have legal standing as married folks. Why? Because they had evidence that they were together for 7 years and had children and the whole idea. And people would do that. People would just do that. So government getting involved
Came later.
came a lot later.
Yes. So, but now people get married because of legal things. Because, say if you you own the man owns a home or the woman owns a home, and you want to make sure that that person gets that home. If something should happen to you, then you want to get married legally and do all of this stuff and have wills and all that stuff like that. But by law, it automatically would go to that person.
Which was part of the same-sex marriage discussion, because there would be people who are together for years and years and years.
And then the family
And
comes
what
in and
and what would
just
have
fix everything.
and what would have been, like I said before, what would have been common law, now because you don't jump through the legal hurdles of that, they don't get the benefit of when their partner dies or gets sick or something. So, yeah, now there's some legal compunction to get married, to make sure that those issues are handled in the way that people want them handled. I don't know.
Insurance, if you work and your partner doesn't have health insurance, then it helps to be legally married so that you can put them on your insurance policies, and they can be covered for health insurance or life insurance and all of that, those legal
Aflac, sorry.
all those legal areas help, if you are legally married, if you have everything
And
together.
there are companies that are starting to recognize partnerships, same sex and not. So I think I think certain companies, Disney is one of them. Surprise, surprise. Is starting to recognize partnerships in same sex marriage even before marriage.
Before it became legal.
Yeah, before it became legal. So I think there are companies that are starting to realize that, you know what, that's not necessarily. Yeah, there you go. That's your girl there. In any case, we just had a pop up on the Facebook screen. Anyway, it was scary. Scary and frightening. I'll never. No, I need counseling. So yeah, legal is now one of those reasons why you would go ahead and do that. Some people say that the piece of paper doesn't make any difference, and in a certain way, in a certain aspect, no, it doesn't. But for
you have
for
a lot-
for navigating what people put out there, and the hoops and the hurdles that you have to hop over and go under for legal reasons, yeah, it certainly
It makes a difference.
pushes you to the front of the line, a lot of that mess.
Because if you have property and a lot, 401ks and money
Existing
and all that,
Children who are already from another relationship, all those things, being married pushes your partner to the front of the line. And some people understand that that's a necessity. So, hey Teresa, so that might be a reason why you would go ahead and get married, especially people who've been shacking up for like 19 years.
and
You
they
got
really,
nine children.
when they have been there that long, they own that property. It's theirs. But if they're not legally married, the family can come in and just swoop up all that and
they do.
take the kids, and
Because-
you have no legal rights.
Because the partner doesn't have any legal standing.
And it's sad.
Yeah, so you might want to go ahead and get that done. I'm a notary. If you're in Florida, I'll hook you up. I'll hook you up. I've done one.
Two.
Have I married two people? No, I've only married one. I married two people, but it was one wedding. I didn't marry somebody do themselves. I like to marry me. Why? Because I'm the best person I know, and I'm in love with me.
And I always agree with me.
I always agree with me. We never have an argument. It's great. I like to marry me, please. How much to marry me? What's the next thing?
Well, I only had 3 of those, and I had commitment on there.
Okay.
And this was a discussion last night because I said commitment
I had
was
a-
a reason to get married.
I had a question. I just had a question.
Okay.
is commitment, and this is a question for you, Teresa, or people who are watching on YouTube. Is commitment a reason or a requirement? Is it a reason to get married, or is it a requirement in marriage?
And I thought that it was a reason until he talked me through this and explained to me that you can be committed to somebody and not be married.
Yes.
And you can. But commitment should be a part of it. It shouldn't, I guess, be a reason that you get married.
Commitment is a necessity in marriage. It's got to be one of those things that you're willing to do for sure. If you're going to get married, you got to be committed to that person. You got to. I mean, it's got to be part of the mix. Now, I don't. Again, the question was, is it a requirement? Now, I think let me put it this way, because I thought about it while I was sleeping. I think that you have to want to be committed to somebody. You have to understand that there's a commitment, and you're willing to. That's what I was looking for. Willing to be committed to that person, which I think still makes it more of a requirement than a reason. But commitment, you can't deny the importance of commitment in actually any relationship, especially the marriage relationship, because things aren't always going to be simple. Things aren't always going to be easy. Things aren't always going to be swinging on chandeliers. You know what? The
Fairy tales.
That and the Saturday night sex parties. I mean, they're going to everything's going to downshift after a while, and what keeps people together for a long time, 31 years now. 31. Is the commitment? Is the commitment? Are you committed to? Are you committed? Are you? I mean, are you ready to throw in your lot with that person? Are you ready? Can you do that?
Forsaking all others and being committed to that one person.
Not everybody's built,
deal.
and not everybody's built. Frankly, not everybody's built like that. And I don't know if people now are even being taught that they should be or they can be. I think some young people are being taught that they don't have to be.
Which, if that's the life that you want, going from relationship to relationship.
But a lot of people are miserable.
Yes.
You see, the proof is in the pudding. A lot of those people are miserable. They are sad and empty, and they hate life, and they don't like people, and
those are the people that you see in Walmart that are so rude. My adventures at Walmart.
I've not met anybody who's been married 3 times who is happy. I love life. I've not met one person who's been married 3 times who is happy. Not one.
Well, if they find their final person, I kind of disagree with that, because I know a few people that have been married a couple of times, and they're in their last relationship, and they finally got it.
You found all of them, because I haven't seen one. Not one of y'all. Not one of y'all.
It's possible
Yeah.
that you learn from your previous relationships, and then
3 times?
Yeah,
That's a lot.
they didn't strike out. They got that third person, and they stick it
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I think they bent and took one on the shoulder for the team to get that base run. Go ahead and take your base. Oh.
But I think it's possible that a person can change.
People change.
Yes, they can change, and then when they find that final marriage, and they know that person is meant for them, they can last. It can last, and they're happy.
You found all those people. I haven't found one. I haven't found any guys that way. Most guys I find who have been married more than or 3 or more times are miserable.
Then why get married? If to me, if you're gonna get married that many times, and it's not because of death or something like that, then it just be single.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
If you're miserable,
Leave people alone. Just go live in your cave.
Be upfront in the beginning of a relationship. I'm not looking for marriage.
Well, these people aren't even looking for relationships anymore. They're just miserable old codgers at this point, who hate people and basically think everybody's out to get them. So I mean, they're not even looking for relationships. So but that's probably best. I haven't found many of them who are happy. Most of them are miserable. They did first of all they didn't understand what marriage was to start with. They were either pressured into it by their families or commitment or convention. This is what you're supposed to do. You're 23 years old. You're supposed to get graduated from college. You're supposed to get married. You're your college sweetheart. You know what? And they were trying to live this sort of fairy tale life without any underpinning, and that doesn't work.
Marriage is not for everybody.
And it's just not for everybody, and especially if you go into it not understanding what it is, and or not willing to learn and adapt to what it is. Once you get into it, and people try to live that single lifestyle, especially early, and they never get the underpinning, and they never get the commitment, and it fails. And then they don't learn, and they try it again on the rebound, and that fails too, and because they never learned the lesson. So a lot of people don't learn the lesson. So again, like most guys I find who've been married more than 3 times, they're miserable people. Miserable. Because you did it wrong. That's all. It's because you did it wrong. I ain't hating on you. You all just did it wrong. You just didn't do it right. So maybe. All right. So what do we got planned for this year? We're gonna do more. Are we gonna do more vlogging on YouTube? For those people who are watching here on Facebook, part of what I think our plans are is we're going to start migrating a lot of content to YouTube exclusive content. So we're going to need you when we put a link on either my Facebook page or Deborah's Facebook page. We're going to need you to go ahead and click on it.
And subscribe
What?
to our
Click on a
YouTube
link?
channel.
God, but they told me not to click on these links because I don't know the Russians will be watching. Click on the freaking link, because we're going to start migrating a lot of content which people here on Facebook will not see, because we're not going to put it both. I'm not going to continue to put it both places. We're going to move a lot of content, and if you've not subscribed to our YouTube channel already, you've already missed a bunch. You've already missed a bunch this year. In the first 14 days of the year, you've already missed a bunch. Have you not?
Yes,
You've missed a lot. So we need you to go ahead and go to our YouTube channel.
And subscribe and like and watch some of our videos. One thing that I am working on diligently is to vlog, a weekly vlog. And that just goes through some of my little daily things that I do, my little walks and lunch break with Debbie, and maybe weekend shopping and stuff like that. We don't grocery shop anymore.
We don't. I mean, we have the benefit of Walmart without having the pain of Walmart. So, and that's all I'm saying.
Walmart.
You have to go
online shopping is the
to
bomb.
the YouTube channel to find out what we're doing. Again, we want you to for those of you on Facebook, thank you ever so much, because I know Facebook's easy for you, and I know that YouTube can be scary. But
YouTube is fun.
But YouTube is fun. So go to our YouTube channel, and actually, if you search for Real Talk with Devin, even here on Facebook, that page puts a link to our YouTube channel where you can go like and subscribe. Please subscribe, and share with your friends, and share with your single friends, and share with married couples, because we are planning for expansion in 2019. It isn't just going to be sitting here in our in our dining room. We're planning on getting out into the community and doing some stuff, talking to some people, helping some folks. So again, we need you to do that. That's part of our plan for 2019. So when we're sitting here,
Will and Deb on the spot.
yeah. So when we're sitting here a year later, a lot of you will have seen us outside of here, and hopefully interface with us at some deeper level, because that's the plan for 2019. The plan for 2019 is expansion, and we need you to make that first. We need you here on Facebook to make that leap to other YouTube, over to YouTube. Really, really, really appreciate it. And for those of you who are on YouTube who are already subscribed, thank you
Thank you.
ever so much. We appreciate it. All right, well, it's time to get out of here and make room for somebody else because you've got something dead under your car.
I know, I saw it this morning.
What the heck is that?
I don't know.
A squirrel or something?
I saw it this morning and I thought it was like a leaf.
I thought it was like a bunch of leaves, but
And then I looked
I got a little closer
and
and it
I
looks
was
like no,
"Ew."
that used to be an animal of some sort. Yeah, so when you leave, I'll get to deal with it. Yay me, yay me. All right, we got to get out of here and make room for somebody else. So till we see you again, go out there and learn something. I want one of those cups.
That sweetie got that cup for me.
Not the same. Anyway, go out there and learn something, love somebody. And for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. Until we see you again, go out there. Peace. Let me click the buttons. Button. Who's got the button?